Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here today with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. Okay, so sometimes these messages choose to come through in a really interesting way, and this is definitely one of those because when I sat down to tune into the energy, I heard Ross from the TV show Friends, and he was shouting that iconic line, "We were on a break." So I feel like there could be something to do with a situation like that going on here, where there's like maybe a lot of talk around technicalities or timelines or but this really happened or that really happened, and there's a lot of talking past each other and confusion and heightened feelings that are involved. I do feel like I'm picking up on a couple here that has broken up, although that is from the TV show Friends. So there could be an aspect of Friends. Yeah, I do think that's playing a part in this, but it's almost like as soon as I tapped into that energy, everything got like super muddled and super confusing. I think first and foremost on a feeling level, because I do feel like this couple, they could have started, like there's feelings as friends, like genuine feelings as friends. There's a desire to hold on to the friendship here between these two, but there is feelings of more than friends. And there's a question around like, do we really want to explore that, because we could potentially lose the friendship, and there could be a friend group here that is involved. And so, this is one of those situations where when people start dating in a friend group, it is like, it makes everybody nervous because you value each other as friends, and you don't want the friend group to disintegrate because, when the couples start breaking up, you know what I'm saying? So it makes everybody kind of on edge here. You could have a situation like that going on, but I do feel like there is a healing energy coming from this friends group, or like a desire to heal the situation here between these two people, however they see fit to do that. Also with this friends group, there could be a potential for reconciliation here between these two people because of this friends group that they have in common. So it could be that this is like a broader network, so there could be like a place that they all have in common. They could be friends online. This could be a friends group that regularly hangs out, or maybe they do reunions or something here like that. So it feels like there is a potential to heal this situation through the friend group, and there does feel a desire from some people in this friend group, from I would say like a critical mass or like a majority. There could have even been conversations here in this friend group around this. They want to heal the situation, although I feel in the past that I'm hearing the word rank and ranks among their ranks. It's rank among their ranks, right? So there's this acknowledgement that maybe they should have been screening people who were a part of this friend group a little more, because I do feel that there were some bad eggs in this friend group that were very competitive, or that were trying to get involved, get in the middle, drive a wedge here between these two people. That seems to be acknowledged here, or maybe there's been a conversation here in this friend group and they're acknowledging that, and maybe they've gotten rid of those people or addressed it themselves. But again, there is this desire to be like a healing force between these two people, at least on a friendship level. And so whatever happened here, this breakage, I feel like there's a lot of confusion because potentially there's a lot of feelings on multiple levels here. And you're unsure with each other, these two people, and even this friend group, of what's the priority here? What are we trying to salvage? This friendship, or is it something more? So there's layers, there's multiple variables, and there's a lot of confusion. But going back to the original upset here, the whatever caused the breakup or the breakage, whatever that was, I just heard it was like a bomb went off, and immediately overnight it put these two people at a distance from one another, and it messed up the communication here between the two of them. It could have been that somebody like blocked somebody's number, unfriended them off of, I just heard Facebook, or, Instagram, or whatever it is. Could have blocked this entire friend group here, could have felt betrayed by that. Like something here like went on, and it massively put people at a distance, even if it was just because the emotional structure was messed up, because somebody did something shady. Maybe a friend group was suspected of also keeping a secret or something. But that emotional distance, it's like, well, now all of a sudden I don't really trust you. So the purpose of having an intimate conversation with you is next to meaningless, because I don't trust you to be honest with me. You weren't honest with me before. You were trying to get away with some shit before. So now all of a sudden you want to have an open, honest conversation. # make it make sense. It doesn't, right? So it's purposeless. And I do feel like there was distance like created here between these two people, but nonetheless, there was a lot of feelings involved in the situation, again, on multiple levels, and then an inability to communicate about it. And then each of these two people are looking at this situation through their own lens, like from their own respective corner. And I can see each of these people focusing on a different variable, or like emphasizing a different aspect here. And immediately I switch to ego defense mechanisms because intellectualization is focusing on the logical factors in a situation and not focusing on the emotional ones as a way to protect the ego and to protect one's storyline or their stance. And I think that potentially could be going on here, especially on the Ross side of things, because that whole like, we were on a break, you broke up with me, what do you mean you feel this way, like you broke up with me. There's a focus on like the actions, the actual actions and the timeline in the situation, which is maybe a form of an ego defense mechanism and the intellectualization going on like the Ross camp, however you're relating to that in your situation. But like I said, I can see these two people, they're looking at the situation through very different lens and they're emphasizing different components here. And there's these elements on both sides. Like what's similar is the feelings and the sense of like defensiveness and protection. Although I think what they're defending is different. Again, I'm going back to that Ross side, the technicality, the timelines, the ego defense mechanism. It's protecting the ego. It's protecting a persona, an image that they hold of themselves, or potentially that this friend group or that this other person has, like I'm not a bad guy. I'm not, something here like that. And I just heard airtight on that side. But then on the Rachel side of things, again, however that's like relating to your specific situation, I can't remember how this happened exactly in not the film, the show. It's been a while. But I know eventually, like when then they started getting back together, she says something to him along the lines of, well, I didn't break up with you because I stopped having feelings for you. I broke up with you because I was mad at you, or you hurt my feelings, something like that. And so he was focused on, well, you broke up with me, so it must have been you meant this, or you rejected me, or you blocked me, or you this. So it must have been that you didn't like me and you didn't have feelings for me. And she clears that up and she says, I had feelings for you. I was mad at you. You hurt my feelings. And then that makes things a lot clearer for Ross. And he's like, wait a second, you do have feelings for me. Holy, this changes everything. And I think he was dating somebody else. And like he ended that relationship in order to like get back with Rachel, right? Because they do have feelings for each other. And then that started this kind of like healing sort of conversation, clearing up the miscommunication around what went on and why it went on and why everybody was doing what they were doing in this situation. But on one camp, you have an emphasis on the feelings. And actually, let's talk about that for a second, because this Rachel side of things, her lens is very much through the lens of feelings. You hurt my feelings and I'm mad at you. So that's why I moved away from you. I didn't want you to hurt me anymore. But he's focused on this timeline thing. And she's like, that may be on a technicality. And they were broken up for, I think, like 2 weeks or something. It was something minimal. So yeah, technically, but the fact that you did that, what does that say about the feelings that are involved? What does that say about your feelings? Your feelings for me? Your feelings for this other person? Do you have feelings? Or because there are people who they have like a very superficial level of feelings. So Rachel is kind of feeling like, I really liked you, or I loved you even, like if these two people were in a relationship. I had skin in the game here. And then you just turned your back and you just hurt me. And I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who, I'm a deep feeler, I just heard, and I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who isn't. Or just, maybe I misread the situation, because the friend thing. Okay, so the other thing is, I feel there is a desire on both of like these people's sides of things to heal things. To heal the distance, the emotional distance, to find, like, to heal things, to bridge the gap. There really is. But it's just on what level. And I feel like even these two people are confused about that. Because I think on the Rachel side, it feels like, well, yeah, I think maybe I liked you on that level. I liked everything about you. I liked your personality. I miss having you as a friend. Both of these people missed having each other as a friend, and she's kind of thinking, well, maybe I was the stupid one. I thought we had a crush on each other, and maybe we did, but I mean, this man has a crush on 5 of his friends at any one given time. And maybe that was on me. Maybe I'm stupid because I am a deep feeler and I don't have a crush on 5 of my friends at any one given time. And I just really liked him. Like, maybe I can actually feel this on Rachel's side of things. Maybe she thinks she's weird in that way, that she should be more open to like a more casual. This is weirdly coming across as like an insecurity maybe here for Rachel, the deep feeling nature of her, and feeling misunderstood in that way. again, not in the show, in the energy that I'm picking up on here, right? So there's just a lot of confusion and a lot of chaos, and there's a lot of feelings here on both sides and that mixture of defensiveness. But I feel Rachel's feeling very defensive of her heart and of her feelings. She's reluctant to get involved with someone who is not also going to be protective of her in that way, or be willing to look at the situation and their behavior in that way. And this Ross side of things, it's feels like defending like his character or this persona or who he is, and well, I'm not a bad person because the timeline of this actually like checked out, and this technicality and that technicality, and or like I had a plan to make a certain decision, or you just couldn't see that, or something. There's something here that does need to be cleared up with the communication here. I just think that whatever went on here was bad enough that it tanked the communication in some way, because it hurt somebody enough that they either just ended contact, blocked somebody's number, blocked them on all platforms. They physically cannot reach out to them anymore. They stopped hanging out with that friend group, or just the emotional hurt is such that it's like you can, whatever words want to fly out of your mouth can. But what you did and when you did them, regardless how technically correct you think that is or isn't, through the lens of emotions, that sort of goes out the window. And I just don't believe you, or I feel like I still need to be protective of myself. So there's a misunderstanding here of everybody's actions and everybody's priority and what that means like on a friend level. I also think that there potentially were people in this friend group that were trying to compete, or were trying to drive a wedge here between these two people, even maybe using like schmegduality or some kind of like competition. They wanted to get maybe between these two. They wanted to bust the communication here between these two. That is a possibility. But I think this friend group would already be kind of on it, like sussing out the snakes here. Like, well, what were you doing? Isn't that interesting? Because we could all see these two liked each other. So what are you doing? What accounts for your behavior? There could be that. And I think somebody here in this friend group actually may be cornering this kind of devil person and saying, I know what you did last summer. That's what I just heard. I know what you did. And calling this person out and saying really calling them out. So there is a desire to rebalance things. I do feel like there's a hope of being together in the future on whatever level. I even think this friend group has a hope of being together in the future. Like maybe whatever went on here damaged more than just this couple. Maybe there was a friend group that stopped hanging out because maybe, it just wasn't the same, or I don't know. This friend group could have been damaged in this process here as well. And I do think somebody is like really messed up over this situation. I think both of these people are. There was a lot more feelings that were than what were communicated on the positive end before whatever happened, and also after whatever happened. It's just that after whatever happened, the structure was no longer in place in their relationship for there to be an honest, healing conversation in the way that it needed to happen. So I do feel like Spirit is stepping in here. There is some level of tower moment here, and it does have to do with burden in the situation or responsibility. There is a karmic rebalancing that's going on here, potentially behind the scenes. And I am picturing the star card in my mind, which it's a beautiful card, but there's all that going on in the sky and it feels to me like star family. And I do feel like there is some sort of assistance, like from the other side in this situation here, and in order to heal things. Ancestors, I just heard, are involved potentially on both sides. And I think this is somehow connected to the friend group, because I also think this friend group incarnated as a friend group here in this situation because potentially, again, they wanted to heal something like from the jump. They may have karmas. This came out on Patreon. They may have karmas that they need to clear up here, that they need to heal. And they are feeling that impulse here now. Even if that was obscured in the past and some of these people went crazy over one or both of these people or wanted to compete, it's not cool anymore to drive the wedge. It's causing karmas. It's causing issues, I think, even in their own life. But yeah, so I'm going to leave that there. But there is a situation that wants to be healed. There was distance. There could be a friend group that is wanting to figure out how they can help, put something back together here, heal a situation, help maybe get these two in the same room, in the right energy, in the right environment, and how to make sure that anybody that was messing around each of these people is not there. Although if you have a masculine that hooks up with his friends, that just might not be something that works here for this Rachel person. I mean, some of these people are obviously going to be there then, but maybe you just heal that situation on the friend level, you know? So, okay, that's what I have for you. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.